Okay, let's just hope this one is better than the first attempt because of a little light difficulty. Anyway, hey everyone, it's me, Rizo2612's Studios. If you were just airing on the first original stream of episode 6 of my live streams, I apologize for that. It was just that for some reason, I just tried to hook up my laptop charger to the computer, and then all of a sudden the laptop just went like randomly just shut itself down for some reason, even though I just plugged it back in, I just plugged it in and all this stuff. But anyway, that is irrelevant for now. And today I'm going to be talking about two topics at least, or some other topics that I want to talk about. Why is it that, like, especially one of them is why is it that I'm still currently working on the Halloween special, the even though Halloween is over. Now, for that, I'll get to it, but first, I'll be explaining to you about where have I been and why is it that I haven't been doing much YouTube activity lately. And you may have noticed that I've been more active in DeviantArt. And before do that, I will just give a few shout outs to those in the chat saying hello to me. Like, I'll give a shout out to you, Ultimate Spider Entertainment, Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios, Kion, Kamaisho, I think that's how you say the last name before you say show, whatever, and Titan T. So, yeah, anyways, um, the reason for those who are wondering how come I'm not like much active as we speak, on YouTube that much, and I am mostly active on, say, DeviantArt and all that stuff, is because I had been trying to work on certain projects for YouTube and such, like especially one of them being the Halloween special and all that stuff. And I had been focusing a lot more on trying to focus on time I have while working on Adventures of Thomas and Friends, season one, episode 1. And don't worry, it's still in the works. But the thing is that due to life being in the way, and I had some personal issues in life and everything, it kind of delayed the production here and there and all that. And also, I needed to try and find the right time to film certain scenes that I need to film, and mhm. So I'm doing the best as I can to make sure that everything goes well as planned for the productions of the first episode of my Thomas series and all that. So and also as for Free for Heroes vs. Villains War Tournament, Round 7 Part 2, I'm on a little hiatus on that because I need to focus on those other two projects a bit because of I'm trying to do the best I can to do like try and focus on whatever YouTube project I can at the moment. And now I'm focusing on part 3 of the Halloween special, which is likely going to come out at some point this month. Keep your fingers crossed for me, lads. I really appreciate it. And basically, I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure that everything goes well and all. But because I got like a lot of stuff and personal issues to deal with and all that, I'm trying to get those sorted and fixed up and all that, so it wouldn't be a bother to me. And then that way I can try and focus more on other things that have my that need to be on my attention and such. So yeah. Um. Anyways, um. Yeah, I believe that's one of the topics I've been talking about, done, like about why is it that I haven't been active on YouTube that much. And now the other topic I want to talk about is what projects would you guys be expecting for me to talk about? Now, um what I'm currently working on for working on at the moment is still the Halloween special, which is part 3, is going to come out hopefully soon towards some point this month. And I'm also going to be working on hopefully more character artworks of this month because I wanted to also tell you guys, I don't know if you know this, but I'll explain it to you anyway. Back last month in October, as you may have noticed, I've only drawn very little of my the Ultimate Master Planners villain team from my Adventure Team Squad series on DeviantArt and all that. Originally, throughout October, I was going to do all of the members and such, but I couldn't because of college was being a pain in the ass to me, and I just couldn't be able to find the right time to do every single one of them. So I only did manage to do very little of the members to do them in character artwork style and everything. So yeah. So like the other characters I had drawn from last month were Diesel 10, Dr. Robotnik, Bowser, Bowser Jr., the Joker, Loki, Slade slash Deathstroke, whichever name you prefer, the Green Goblin, and the Dazzlings, and those were pretty much the only villains I had drawn, and that was it. But I'm hoping to God that this time around I'll try and get all of the character artwork ideas I had planned for this month to be completed because as of recently the only character artworks of characters I have done to get them completed um throughout this month were the Prowler from Marvel Comics, Edward the Blue Engine from Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Lobo from DC Comics, and Harley Quinn from DC Comics. So I'm hoping at least to try and get all the other characters done and completed as soon as possible because there are some other characters that I need to do and all that stuff. And yeah, and it could be a bit tricky to try and get them all done, but I'm hoping to get at least all of them done. I haven't planned like a ton of characters to do for November. I only plan to do like a few and all that stuff. Like try to keep things to a minimum and all that stuff. And and if you guys keep voting for certain characters for in my character artwork recommendation poll in my Instagram stories, I deeply appreciate that and all that. You guys are amazing and all that stuff. And yeah, and I'll do the best I can to draw whichever character wins certain polls and all that stuff. Because there's one more poll, like one more character artwork recommendation poll for December that I'm gonna do, but I'm not gonna release it until maybe next Thursday in Thanksgiving for those who live in America and all that stuff. So yeah. I mean, you're just gonna have to keep your heads up for that for those who follow me on Instagram and mhm. Anyways, and with that aside, there's also an interesting topic that I would like to talk to you guys about. But before that, I'm gonna answer a few questions from the chat, and let me see if there's any questions here. Yeah, the first one is from the Trickster Rules, and that user asks, "Do I have Discord?" Yes, I do. I have a Discord server, and if you like go on any of my YouTube videos, there should be a link in the description to where you can find a Discord server, and then that way you would probably be part of it if you want to, at least, or maybe I don't know, but yeah. So anyways, hello to Transmania, 2021. Sorry about that. I'm just stuttering for a second because I've just had a funky um sleep pattern recently and all that stuff. So yeah. And the next question, and here we have our two questions from the Mr. Mango Head Magic Kingdom. Funny name for a user, but meh, okay. The first question is, what do you think about the Loud House in South Park? Well, for South Park, I've only seen very little of the show. Like, I don't watch it that very much, and I don't have much interest in the show, or at least the franchise itself. But interesting fact for you, if you have DeviantArt, I have done a character artwork of Kyle Blosky it from South Park some time ago back, I think last year. And yeah, and he's gonna be the only South Park character I would have ever draw out of all the South Park characters I had drawn because I'm not like really crazy about South Park or anything like that, but I do remember um that I used to be like somewhat of a fan of South Park and all that stuff, but I'm not like too crazy about it. And yeah. And the second question is, will you make spoofs like Cool Z Dan the Fifth? Um, I seem to be familiar with that user and all that stuff back in back before I joined YouTube and all. I don't think I will do any spoofs or anything like that because that's not really in my interest to do for YouTube and such. So yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I just honestly don't really seem to have interest to make spoofs at all. And oh yeah, I just remembered back to when you were asking me what do I think about Loud House. I'm not really interested about Loud House, to be honest. It just doesn't seem about my uh interest, to be honest, because yeah, I mean, it just seems like way overrated in my opinion. It's just my opinion alone and all that stuff. And yeah. So and the next question from Kion, and this one is about, do you think Splatter and Dodge is Paxton and Sydney, but they disguise as them? Um, no, not really, no, because to be that honest, um, I don't think that would have been that intriguing about it, like or any like interesting about it, because I don't think Splatter and Dodge would have been Paxton and Sydney in disguise or anything like that, and yeah. Because to be honest, I treat these four characters like separate characters, and I will do the same in my Thomas series and such. So um now we got a question from my good friend in real life and also who has recently joined both YouTube and DeviantArt, who I will give him a shout out in DeviantArt in just a sec, which is from Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios. And and he asks me, "What is your interest about?" Well, you probably would have already knew this a few times before. I mean, come on, we had been friends for like years in real life, and we've been working together on certain projects for you to build up on your YouTube channel and also soon on your DeviantArt channel also and all that stuff. So yeah, like we have similar interests in Thomas the Tank Engine Friends, My Little Pony, Transformers, Team Fortress 2, even recently for me, and mostly like one of your top favorites of all time, Steven Universe and all that. Hmm and to be that honest with you, Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios, hopefully we will continue trying to work on more projects together for you to learn how to um get them uploaded to your YouTube channel, because I remember that I told you once that there was one old YouTube video that I filmed for you a few years ago, and we were going to um we were going to get it onto YouTube at some point. And I told you that whenever I have spare time, um that will come out probably likely next year, if that's cool with you. I was referring to the one that this video that showcases your Hornby and Bachman trains and stuff like that that you had. And and I'm just hoping, if it's fine with you, if we could be able to upload that at some point next year and all that as your third video and such. So mhm. And before I answer to the next question, I'm gonna try and showcase Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios' Demon Art channel. Then I want you guys to show some support for his interest in Demon Art and such. If you excuse me. Let's see if I okay, this is Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios' DeviantArt channel, which is commonly known as for short Callan Universe. And the reason that it's known as Callan Universe is because originally when we were creating this channel back in like some time ago and all that, like a couple of days ago, something I can't remember when. We were originally going to call it Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios, but because DeviantArt has some limitations and such, we had to give it a nickname known as Callum Universe and such. So yeah, and here this is a one of the um artwork pieces that I had made for him, which is a shipping fan art of himself as a My Little Pony character in love with his Thomas the Tank Engine waifu Emily. So yeah, once again, if you want to like follow him and show some support in his art projects that he and I have been working on together, which mind you, I'm teaching him on how to do things on DeviantArt and all that, and how we like favorite and also upload stuff on DeviantArt, which would showcase interest and such. Um, then yeah, like basically I was sorry, let me just try and think what I was going to say. Um, yeah, like I'll be teaching him on how things are done on DeviantArt, and so if you want to follow him on DeviantArt, is not his DeviantArt channel is known as Callan Universe and all that stuff. So and if you follow him and show him some support, he would deeply appreciate that. Anyway, next up, in the next question we got from Kion, which is Thomas and Sunset versus Trixie and Diesel. Which team would I be on? Well, as much as I like Trixie, who's one of my favorite anti-hero characters in the series in My Little Pony, and I don't mind Diesel as being one of my favorite characters in the Thomas the Tank Engine series. I would have to probably root for Thomas and Sunset mainly because of how much I adore Sunset as being my main waifu and all that stuff, and and yeah, so and mm, mhm, and yeah, okay, that's good to know from Kion that he already subscribed to Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios on what on DeviantArt or on DeviantArt or YouTube. Like, just wondering, Kion, if you could reply to this. Anyway. Okay, next up is a question from Twilight Sparkle the Tank Engine. And that user asks, when did you start to love Sci Twi and Sci Twi and Sunset Shimmer? Um to be honest, ever since I've been growing more fond of Sunset. It was one of those few My Little Pony ships that I started shipping for. Mainly either because of the fan art or maybe the comic dubs or any of those or something like that. I sometimes ship them and all that stuff, but I mostly would ship myself with Sunset throughout my Adventure Team Squad series because you could say that I'm like a guy who believes in his dreams, and not only he is proud of his own country and all that stuff. As you can tell from my profile picture, that I'm the kind of British citizen that loves his country for what it is and what it stands for in the world. And I'm sure that most of you are proud of about where you are from and all that stuff and everything that it stands out in the world, and just to name a few. Hmm. Like, you get to believe in yourself and all that stuff. Anyway, um I also want to share this very interesting poll I created for you guys to vote on for me. And this is a very interesting poll that I created on the YouTube community page. Um like, just give me a sec to make sure that it's all like loaded, like pretty much loaded or something. And okay, just hang on for a sec. And okay, here in the YouTube community page in my YouTube channel, if you go here, I created this poll for you guys to vote in for my, which is something that came into my mind about in my um Adventure Team Squad series. Basically, if you may have seen my my recent one of my recent artwork pieces on DeviantArt, known as Rizo2612 and his Adventure Team Squad series cast, you may have noticed that I had featured two different versions of Dr. Octopus. One is Dr. Olivia Octavius, Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie, and the other is Dr. Otto Octavius slash Dr. Octopus from the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon. And in here, I created two options. So far, we have one vote for this option here with Dr. Olivia Octavius would be Dr. Otto Octavius' sister, and the other option is um, Dr. Olivia Octavius being an alternate version of Dr. Otto Octavius, like she would have been the Dr. Octopus from another dimension and such. And I want you guys to like vote for it and share your thoughts in the comments. Why do you think that would be? Because if you do, then that'll be great, because then it would give me some interesting ideas of what to do with the character and all that stuff. And yeah. So yeah, and the deadline for voting for either of these options is on the 1st of December. So I want you guys to vote before the 1st of December comes up. So if you vote for the first option, which is Olivia Octavius being Dr. Otto Octavius' sister, or if you want to see Dr. Olivia Octavius be an alternate version of Dr. Octopus, vote for the second one down below. Whichever one, your opinions, your decision to make, and you can also state the reasons why you think which option that you picked would work brilliantly for Dr. Olivia Octavius. So yeah, like that's basically one of the topics that I've covered for that focuses around on the two versions of Dr. Octopus that has been featured in one of my recent artwork pieces. And if you guys want to see the link, do you guys want to see the link to the cast of who are the characters that will be appearing in my Adventure Team Squad series on DeviantArt? If you do, I'll probably leave the link right here on the chat for you guys to see. So yeah, spare me a minute so I can try and find it. And while I find it, you can ask me some questions about what are my thoughts on, say, Spider-Man No Way Home, and what do I expect what do I think of it so far and all that stuff. Okay, here is the link to the one of my recent artwork pictures that I posted back on Remembrance Day, which is my Rizo2612 and his Adventure Team Squad series cast, which is basically a list of tons of characters that you would get to know who, like, what characters would you expect to see in the series. Like, I've just confirmed that there are two versions of Dr. Octopus going to be involved in the series, which is Dr. Otto Octavius Dr. Octopus and Dr. Olivia Octavius's Dr. Octopus. Like, both of them will be appearing at some point. So yeah. And now we're going to move on to the question of Spider-Man or Deadpool. I like them both. Spider-Man is my number one favorite Marvel Comics hero because no matter if it's Josh Keaton's Spider-Man from the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon or Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I always appreciate Spider-Man as being my number one favorite Marvel Comics hero because without Spider-Man, he wouldn't have introduced me to the world of Marvel Comics and its characters. Now, Deadpool, I like him as a character. He's one of my favorites as well. And excuse me. And I find Deadpool a really fun character to watch, either in Deadpool the movie or in any of the animated incarnations of Deadpool, like Deadpool's appearance in Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, I know for a fact that in Ultimate Spider-Man that both he and Spider-Man have a crossover episode or episodes. I don't know how many appearances does Deadpool have, but I am planning to watch Ultimate Spider-Man at some point in the future whenever I can. And yeah. And also his other animated appearance was in Hulk versus and yeah, Sonic, Rainbow Dash, or Gordon? Um, it's a real toughie if you ask me personally about who would I like the most out of those three. When it comes to terms of Thomas characters, I don't mind Gordon like being one of the few characters who I like. He's an interesting Thomas character and all that stuff. Rainbow Dash, she's my fourth favorite My Little Pony character of all time. Sonic is probably likely my number one favorite Sonic character of all time. Well, funny enough, if you were to ask me about why I say it's funny enough in Sonic's case when it comes to Sonic characters, is because I sometimes get this feeling that Dr. Robotnik is my number one favorite Sonic character, but I sometimes doubt it because of other times I honestly think that it could be a tie score between the two. And yeah, and in all honesty, I think it could be possibly a tie score between my second favorite villain of all time, which by the way, my number one favorite villain is Diesel 10, and my second favorite villain is Dr. Robotnik, which explains why that you may notice in the roster of the Ultimate Master Planners and their army of villains roster, you notice that Diesel 10 and Robotnik they share leadership together because of it just goes to show how much I love these two villains and all that because they remain Diesel 10 remains as my childhood like one of my favorite villains from my childhood days, and Robotnik remains being one of my favorite video game villains of all time, alongside Bowser and all that stuff. So and yeah, so that's an interesting fact to know from you, Kion, that you're your My Little Pony waifu is Fluttershy, and Applejack is Starlight Glimmer. I hope the three of you, I hope the three of them ain't thinking of smothering you to death with kisses, because I know for a fact that my good friend Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios' main My Little Pony waifu would have had to be Rainbow Dash of all characters, which is true. So and if you guys want to ask me more questions, I'm free to ask more questions because of I haven't got much planned to do as of tonight because of I've woke up like a couple like hours to go, hours ago because I was feeling a bit dodgy throughout last night because of my right arm was feeling a bit funny lately and all that stuff and like whenever you feel like a strain on your right arm and whenever you're trying to sleep or try to at least get up, you feel like that it's trying to drag you down and all that stuff and everything, but that's a different story. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just making sure that things for the stream is going well as planned, and hopefully if you guys want to talk about who's your favorite like if you guys want to talk about like who's your favorite waifu and all that stuff from your interests and such, explain it in the comments and all that stuff, and yeah. And aside from we have some sort of like the silence treatment. I thought of before I would start showing the one of my artwork pieces that I've done on Demon Art and all that. I'm gonna answer this question from Kion. Have I finished watching Siege of Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy? I haven't yet, but I am getting around to it at some point um because of I do have strong intentions to try my best to find the right time to be in the mood to watch certain shows. Like recently on 1 or 2 nights ago, I've recently watched the second episode of season 2 of The Punisher on Netflix, and I honestly thought it was a good thing because I've missed watching that show for a long time and all that stuff. And yeah. So and so yep. Anyway, I'm gonna show you guys one of my artwork pieces and such. So mhm. Okay, if this loads up. Yeah, okay. Here is for those who are gonna be asking me because I'm gonna be featuring Dr. Octopus, like well, mainly two versions of Dr. Octopus and all that. What version of the Sinister Six in my series would be like? Because there are different versions of the Sinister Six over the years in Marvel Comics media and all that stuff. And yeah, um, if you were to ask me about what version of the Sinister Six roster would be like, I planned that the roster would consist of Doctor Octopus being the leader of the Sinister Six, and we have Mr. Negative, because the reason I've added Mr. Negative in this is because I thought since he was an interesting addition to the Sinister Six from Spider-Man PlayStation uh 4 video game, I thought that he could make a pretty interesting addition to the team. And also he had became one of my favorite Marvel Comics villains of all time and all that stuff. I haven't seen what he's like in Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, but from what I've seen, he looks interesting and all that stuff, but not as hugely interesting as he was in Spider-Man PlayStation 4, judging from the cutscenes of him in the game. And we have um Matt Gargan, aka the Scorpion here. And here we have Mysterio, the Shocker, and finally the Vulture. And I was originally gonna consider of adding, um, like showcasing the honorable mentions of the team of this of my incarnation of the Sinister Six in this, and basically the honorable mentions were if we go down here, like the honorable mentions here were Hobgoblin, Craven the Hunter, Sandman, the Rhino, Electro, and the Chameleon. Like they are the main honorable mentions and such of the characters, like of members of the Sinister Six that I would have showcased them and like showcasing the Sinister Six and all that stuff. Like I would have given them the chance to shine and such, but for characters like Hobgoblin, he's gonna have a different role and all that stuff and everything else. Like he could be an assassin for a criminal mastermind, such as say maybe like he could be working for maybe Black Mask, or maybe he would have been um one of the Kingpin's original assassins, but then he would have betrayed him at some point or something like that. But who knows? It depends on what role how Goblin's going to have for the Adventure Team Squad series, because I wanted to try and develop interesting roles for the characters and all that stuff. And I want to hear you guys' thoughts on what you guys think of the recent trailer that was released some time ago of Spider-Man No Way Home. What do you guys honestly think of it? You know that to me, I find it badass and awesome to see, and I'm so honestly surprised to see Alfred Molina return to play as Doctor Octopus in the film and all that. So mhm. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts on it and hear like your thoughts about the trailer and such. So yeah. I haven't got the chance to watch Venom Let There Be Carnage and all that stuff because I I heard from Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios when he went to go and watch it in the cinema, I think. If you could correct me on that, Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios, I think you had seen it in the cinema, if I could recall, and all, because you told me you have seen it at the cinema and all that. And if so, you can also share your thoughts about that film in the chat if you like, and tell me who's your main favorite character, either Venom or Carnage. Because to me, I think that my best guess, I know who would have been your favorite character out of the two of them, but I'm not going to say it in the stream. Anyway, um, let's see what Kion has to say about Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home is just around the corner. I'm hyped for the movie, and are you too? Yeah, I'm pretty hyped for the film because I wanted to see what the take on the characters will be like for the film. But the biggest question is who's going to be the sixth member out of the villains that we have seen so far in the trailer? Because my guess it would be probably Rhino in from the Amazing Spider-Man movies, or perhaps we would get to see maybe the Scorpion in action because we seen a a post-credit scene with Matt Gargan, who is the Scorpion, talking to Adrian Toomes who is the Vulture in Spider-Man: Homecoming, and Matt Gargan tells the Vulture that he knows about the rumors that he knows about who Spider-Man really is and all that stuff. So yeah, okay, and we get to hear from Ultimate Spider Entertainment about the trailer is awesome. I think Spider-Man No Way Home gonna be the best Spider-Man film ever. Well, that depends on what people say about the film. I mean, who knows? Anyway, and yeah, we get a response from Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios that yes, he has seen um Venom Let There Be Carnage in cinema and all that stuff. So, what's my thoughts on Venom in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3? Well, I don't have any thoughts on that version's take on Venom, but to be honest, I think it's really underrated compared to Tom Hardy's take on Venom. To be that honest, if you guys agree with me on that fact, let me know in the chat of the stream and all that. I would appreciate that. So so mhm. And if you wanted to also know as a bonus about what version of Venom is my current favorite, I'll have to say probably the Spectacular Spider-Man's version of Venom is my favorite because I kind of like the character design and all that stuff. But I don't mind Spider-Man the Animated Series 1994 cartoon series' take on the character because I know for a fact that the actor who did the voice of Venom in that show, he did s- voices of some of the Simpson characters. Like I believe one of them was Mo Sislak, the bartender, and all that stuff, which I find that mostly interesting about the actor who did the voice of Venom in the Spider-Man the Animated Series 1994 cartoon series. So And I'm gonna ask you guys this question. For those who haven't seen the roster of like the artwork piece of my of the roster sorry, the artwork piece of my Rizo2612 and his Adventure Team Squad series cast, which basically I would give you like a tour of every single roster I had made within the artwork piece, showcasing about like who are going to be part of the series and which certain characters are going to be in what hero or villain team, or are they supporting characters or anything like that. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that before I would go ahead and showcase the the artwork piece and all. Anyway, and we get to hear from Kion, who agrees with me that Tom Hardy's Venom is a lot more badass compared to how meh or something like that. I don't know that Venom was in Spider-Man 3. So yeah, and in other words like that, I'm gonna be waiting to hear from what you guys think. If you want to hear me do a tour on the a tour on my artwork piece of the Adventure Team Squad series cast and also. Also, you voiced Fergus in one of Mr. A the Hedgehog's videos, and your Fergus voice was hilarious. Thanks, Kion. I really appreciate that. my intention to do Fergus's voice was to make him sound like a really like elder engine because he's a traction engine, and it does make sense because he's like old fashioned um, compared to say Thomas and all that stuff, and I think that that would be pretty interesting if I gave him an elder voice. Like, you would say that it could have been a bit similar to Grandpa Simpson's voice from The Simpsons, but I didn't go by it because I'm not really sure if I would have done a really good Grandpa Simpson impression. But maybe one day in the future I might do, but no promises. But anyway, now I'm gonna do the tour of the rosters of the Adventure Team Squad series cast, and here we go. Like, give me a sec to share screen, and then you guys will get to see it. And I'll be explaining about what are the certain parts of it. Okay, here we go. Enlarging it. Here is the entire artwork here. Like, well, not entirely, but whatever. Like, we're gonna start from Antonio and Sunset Shimmer's Adventure Team Squad roster here, and then we finish at the Ultimate Master Planners and their army of villains. So here we go. So we have here is myself, Eve, in this really good looking promo picture of the UK flag as the background in it, with featuring myself as a Thomas the Tank Engine Friends character, a My Little Pony character, and a spectacular Spider-Man character, and and you could obviously tell that that would have been like the most relatable thing to me is that I have a mustache and all that. So, and yeah. Like before, when I created the myself as a Thomas and Friends character, it didn't at first had a mustache to it until I decided to update it a bit to try and make it look more nicer by giving it a mustache and all that to match up the same feature as myself as a MLP character and a spectacular Spider-Man character. And next to me we have my waifu Sunset Shimmer, as we both are the leaders of the Adventure Team Squad throughout the series. And right here we have all of the characters right here that are going to be that are going to be well known to be having connections to do with the team and such, and just to name a few, like So this would also be featuring anti-heroes such as Discord, Team Dark, and other characters like that. I'll give that like a heads up to those who would be, but for those who already knew who they are, then that's cool. Okay, we have here excuse me, we have in the Steam team, we have um Thomas, Edward, Henry, Gordon, James, Percy, Toby, and Emily in here, that they share in the same picture right here, because I wanted to get like, I originally was going to showcase the Steam team in separate pictures and such, like kind of similar to right here with Doc, Donald, Douglas, Oliver, Nia, Rebecca, and all that. But I realized it was going to be too much for this roster here, so I had to have them all in one picture right here. So you may notice them in this picture here next to Doc. And speaking of Doc, we got Doc, Donald, Douglas, the Scottish twins, Oliver, Nia, Rebecca, um, and we have some extra additions to the Steam team, which this is my incarnation of the Steam team, and probably the same incarnation of the Steam team that will likely be used for my Adventures of Thomas and Friends series. We have Wilbert, Rosie, Stanley, and Lady. So these are all the main Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends characters that will be members of the Adventure Team Squad series. Right here we have excuse me, just burp for a second. And right here we have the My Little Pony characters to the Equestria Girls characters. We have Twilight Sparkle, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, Rarity, Starlight Glimmer, Spike, Trixie, who's one of the who these two are one of the few anti-heroes of the series. But although throughout the um series, Starlight will already be mainly known as just a hero throughout the series and all that. And same with Trixie as well. We have Princess Celestia, Princess Luna, the Cutie Crusaders, with Apple Bloom, Skulu, Sweetie Belle, Babseed, and we have one of our favorite anti-heroes, Discord, right here. And now we have the Rainbooms from Equestria Girls. We have Psy Twilight Sparkle, um, pardon me, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Rarity, um, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy. An originally interesting fact, I was originally going to consider these five versions of Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Rarity, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy to be the human incarnations of the pony versions of those characters. But I was against that idea because I just didn't seem to find that really interesting or a really cool idea myself, something like that. So, And here are the main Sonic characters that are going to be in the team. We have Sonic, Tails, Manic, Sonia, Sally, Silver, Blaze, Shadow, Rouge, E123 Omega, and that's pretty much the main Sonic characters there is. Like those are the members of Team Dark, Shadow, Rouge, and E123 Omega. And now we have the only Mario characters in this. We have Mario and Luigi. Originally, Luigi was going to be the only Mario character in the roster, but I decided to throw in Mario just for the sake of how much I think it would be a better idea to have Mario in this instead of him being a supporting character in another characters appearing in the series roster. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to the DC Comics characters, we have Raven, Batman, Supergirl, Batgirl, Robin, Beast Boy, Cyborg, and Starfire. And now we have the Marvel Comics characters. We have Spider Man, Daredevil, Deadpool, Iron Man, Thor, She Hulk, Wasp, Captain America, Hulk, and the Punisher. And other characters we have here are Bart Simpson, Louise Belger, RC, Optimus Prime, Bulkhead, Bumblebee, Ratchet, Gwen, Batman, which this Batman is Terry McGinnis's Batman. Originally, I wasn't certain if I was going to feature Terry McGinnis Batman in the series, but because of how interested I was when I was watching Batman Beyond, I decided to feature him at some point of the series. So, and here we have two of the main Team Fortress 2 characters in my series, Soldier and Engineer, because whenever I play online gaming on Team Fortress 2, I would always mainly play as either soldier or engineer, or sometimes other characters as heavy or scout or whomever. And we have Spider Gwen, aka Ghost Spider, Uncle Chuck the Hedgehog, Katana, and here we have four trapdoor characters, which I'm not sure some of you are familiar with this stop motion television series known as the Trapdoor that I think appeared in the 80s, so to speak. It's kind of similar to similar animation style as to Wallace and Gromit, but except it's not really recognizable as Wallace and Gromit, but it's still memorable to those who were in the 80s and they used to watch it. And I remember that there's a little history I'm going to bring into this that I remembered when I was in my primary school days. I introduced myself to watching the Trapdoor, and I thought it was a really good show. So I got interested of it, and I got the DVD of it, and I'm happy that I got it. So, and here we have Burke, Boney, Drott, and Rog, who are going to be the main trapdoor characters to be in the Adventure Team squad. And we have Detective Ellen Yin from the Batman 2004 cartoon. And we have Kim Possible and Ron Stoppable, which is like a tribute to the Kim Possible cartoon because it's one of the few Disney shows that I find it decent to watch and all that. So, and we have the Fantastic Four, um, Prowl from Transformers Animated, Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, whichever name you prefer to call her as. And here we have Superman, Wonder Woman, Miles Morales as Spider Man, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Huntress, and The Question. And now moving on to sorry, I'm just trying to focus on something here. Like if we just yeah, apologies for this. Like I was just gonna see if there was a way that we would be able to yeah, that's better. Yeah, I was just trying to make sure if I got all the characters in the roster here. So we have Hawk Girl, um Ant-Man, Sorry Simdike, um Jack Darby, Miko, Raphael, Iago, and we have some characters from Gargoyles, which are Goliath and his clan, along with Detective Eliza Maza from Gargoyles, which is a very interesting Disney cartoon and all that, which I still watch to this day, but not that often because of depends on the sake of what mood of show I'm in to watch and all that. So yeah. And we have Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, Black Cat, the Fat Controller. We have Ultra Magnus, who I had a very interesting conversation with someone on social media who asked me, is Ultra Magnus going to appear in the Adventure Team Squad series? And I said I wasn't really certain about it, but then I had some thoughts about it, and yeah. And now we got some Castlevania boss characters, and we have Blitz, Moxie, and Millie, and Luna. Which BTW Luna is so just damn entertaining in the series. We have Silver Surfer, Rosalina and Luma, Palatina, Shining Armor, Princess Cadence, and Flurry Heart, I believe that was the name. Yeah, just trying to remember the name of the characters. Anyway, we have the Starfleet, then the Z Stacks from Tugs, Theodore Tugboat and his friends from Theodore Tugboat, Wallace and Gromit, E102 Gamma, Amy Rose, Queen Elena, Kid Flash, Jinx, and here is the rest of the Simpson family: Homer, Marge, Lisa, and Maggie. And here we have Satana, two Black Bullet characters, Rentar Satsumi and Enju. Originally, these two they weren't originally going to be part of the series at first, but I decided to throw them in as supporting characters for the series and such. So here we have Captain George Stacy, Commissioner Gordon, um, Black Panther, Knuckles, Team Chaotix, which involves around SBO, Vector, and Charmy B, Doctor Strange, um, Chris McClane, Chef, Lashana, and Duncan for the Total Drama series, Hell Jordan, Green Lantern, Dr. Fate, Etrigan, Agent William Fowler, Alita 1 from Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy. And um, next here, you cannot tell from the picture because of how small it is, but because of I was trying to match as many like try to fit in as many characters as possible. Here is Jack Sparrow, and right next to him is a OC character I've made known as Dr. Devilish Pony Genius, which I'll probably show the character profile of him at some point, or leave a link to it on the chat as soon as possible, like in the live chat for you guys to have a look at if you're interested. So we have Hela, Loki's daughter, Magpie, and here are some alternate versions of the characters and such. Oh yeah, sorry, and there's Dr. Olivia Octavius, which you may not see her well, but she's in between Dr. Devilish Pony Genius and Hela right there. So she's just right there. If you can see the little like magnifying glass pointer that there she is there. And here we have Mr. L, Eggman Nega, Metal Sonic 3.0, and Owlman, who are the alternate versions of Luigi, Dr. Robotnik, Metal Sonic, and Batman. And they're going to be introduced in an interesting story arc in the future, which I'm not going to say anything because it will spoil a lot for those who would be interested to check out the series on DeviantArt. Anyway, here we have Silvermane, Lord T-Rex, Chernobog, Gentleman Ghost, Count Dracula, Ra's al Ghul, Xanatos, um, Gizmo, Mammoth, Humpty Dumpty, Burr Mordo, Dormammu, Galactus, excuse me, Vanos, Darkseid, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, Killer Frost, King Shark, Clayface. Now, I'm going to state a fact for Clayface. There are two versions of Clayface that are going to be in the series. This is going to be the Matt Hagen Clayface, while there's going to be another Clayface that's going to show up, and that is the Basil Carlo Clayface. I'll give you a heads up to where he is, and Dr. Psycho. And yeah, like you just I'm gonna have a look through the list of the characters instead for this part right there. Give me a sec. Let me find out where I was last time. I was at yeah okay. Now we have the rest of the other characters. I'm gonna highlight which ones. We have the Red Skull from Marvel Comics, the Big Red Thing and Bubo, who are going to be one of the main few monsters from the Trapdoor cartoon series that will be appearing. And we have the Hobgoblin, the Prowler, which is going to be Aaron Davis, because originally I was going to have Hobie Brown be as the Prowler throughout my series, but I decided against it because of I thought it would be interesting to have Miles Morales' uncle be the Prowler of the series, and he could possibly be the anti-hero of the series or something, but I don't know. I mean, it's up to you guys. Do you want to see the Prowler as an anti-hero of the Adventure Team Squad series? Let me know in the live chats and all. And we have Dr. Draken and Shigo from Kim Possible, Ultron, Silver Sable, Rupert Thorne, Malekith from Marvel Comics, the Maniac and Cozy Glow from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And now we're going to go up back to the picture because while I was sharing this as a screen and zooming in on the actual picture, you may not see it that well or something, or at least I can't because of this like little bar here telling me about that I'm sharing the screen and all, but whatever. Now moving on to my favorite roster, which is the Ultimate Master Planners and their army of villains. So we have Diesel 10 and Dr. Robotnik sharing leadership, but they are not the only ones sharing leadership among the villains. We have also Bowser, the Joker, Loki, Slade, aka Deathstroke, the Green Goblin, the Dazzlings, Adagio, Aria, and Sonata, Midnight Sparkle, Megatron, Captain Hook, Ronamon, Dr. Victor Von Doom, Kanatari Hiriko, Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, Mora the Enchantress, Bowser Jr., um, Queen Chrysalis, Baron Zemo, Professor Pig, Tobias Whale, Anarchy, Black Arachnia. Now, if you're wondering how come I have two Elita ones in the series, I might ask you guys this question also. Would you want to see Elita One from Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy be a newer version of Elita One that enters in the main universe of the Adventure Team Squad series, or you want to see her as an alternate version of Black Arachnia, but from another dimension, which is in the same universe, as in the one that where Mr. L, A Nega, Metal Sonic 3.0, and Owlman are from. Let me know in the comments. And we have Demona right here from Gargoyles and Lex Luthor, who are, by combining all of these characters together, they are the ultimate master planners. And we have Larxene from Kingdom Hearts, Blackfire, Splatter and Dodge, Snively Robotnik, Soundwave, Starscream, Mr. Smee, Mr. Toad, Allbot, Cubot, Metal Sonic, Egg Robo, Grimer. Now, for those who don't know who Grimer is, he is Robotnik's assistant in Sonic the Comic series, which is the Europe Sonic the Hedgehog's comic series and all that. As far as I know about it, and moving on, we have the Riddler, Tombstone, Hammerhead, the Penguin, Mosenrath, um, Bane, Modok, Two Face, Mr. Freeze, Hugo Strange, Shockwave, Dr. Otto Octavius, aka Dr. Octopus. And we have Mr. Negative, the Scorpion, Mysterio, Shocker, and also the Vulture, Tembler, Executioner, and we also have Bloodswing and Lugnog from Transformers Animated. And we got some Thomas the Tank Engine Friends villains also working for the Ultimate Master Planners, which are Diesel, Ari, and Bert, D261, D199, an old stuck up. And we have some other villains to go through. We got the leader, who, for those who knew for a fact that Jeffrey Combs, he does the voice of Ratchet from Transformers Prime, and the Question from DC Comics. He also did the voice of the leader, which is one of my favorite roles of his that I ever seen Jeffrey Combs ever do. And I really appreciate the leader in the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon. And we have Black Mask, Craven the Hunter, Ink, who is my number one favorite Batman Beyond villain. And here we have Clayface, but this one is Basil Karlo Clayface from the Batman 2004 cartoon. And we have, you may not see well, but once again, the magnifying glass is there to guide you. We have Knockout and Breakdown. And as a heads up, there will be a possibility that both Knockout and Sandman, who is the next character right here, they're both going to be anti-heroes at some point and all that stuff. So yeah, and we have the Rhino, Fat Tony, Electro, Sideshow Bob, Firefly, Killer Croc, Ragdoll, Killer Moth, and we also have down here some more Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends villains. We have Sailor John, George the Steamroller, the Horrid Lorries, Bulgy, and finally we have some other villains to go through. We got Venom, Carnage, Derek Powers, aka Blight, Mr. Fix, Johnny Cuba from Tugs, Wario and Waluigi from Super Mario, the Chameleon, Livewire, and finally Lobo. So those are like all of the characters, like those are all of the characters that we have so far of the cast and all, and and so yeah, and hmm And now I'm going to try and catch up on the chat before I would likely end the stream and all that stuff, because I don't want to make the stream a bit too long. So yeah. But before I would likely go, if you guys want to see the link of what Dr. Devilish Pony Genius's role is going to be like in the Adventure Team Squad, I'll try and find it right now. And once I find the link, I'll share it on the chat for you guys to have a look in um on DeviantArt if you're interested to check it out on DeviantArt and everything else. So yeah. So yeah. While I wait for the link to load, I'm gonna try and answer some questions here. Or at least read some facts here. We got one from Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios. He stated that in Spider-Man No Way Home, I currently saw in the background of the shadow was currently Venom. If it was him, what is your reaction would be? I would be interested to see if it would have been Venom in the background, but I'm not really certain if it is. But if I have a look, like try to get a closer look at the trailer, or if we look it up together at some point, if maybe in the future, Team Godzilla and Blue Diamond Studios, then we'll try and see if it was Venom or something else that wants to give everyone everyone who had seen the trailer some thoughts, like to see if there were any Easter eggs throughout the trailer or something. What's your favorite station in Thomas? I don't have a personal favorite station, but I do like Napfed Station. My guess is that I'll probably say um Napfed Station and all that stuff. And mhm and mhm. Anyway, and right here I'm gonna read Kion's opinion on the promo, aka the fan art. Good choice on characters, nice work. That's probably the best promo, aka fan art you ever did. Thanks, I appreciate that. And here's a fact from Twilight Sparkle the Tank Engine saying in the fandom they call her Psy Twilight. In the show, nobody calls her Psy Twilight. That's something that I had noticed perhaps when they mainly referred Psy Twilight as Twilight because of the universe differences between those two characters or something. Anyway, and here I still haven't gotten around to watching Pseudo Legend of the Lost Treasure and the Great Race, but I am still planning to. As soon as after I will watch Tale of the Brave, so hopefully I'll try my best to catch up on certain Thomas films to watch. So yeah, and if I do, I promise you I'll do a review on them as soon as possible. Yeah, I'm doing good. CM 2.0, I'm doing good, and yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna try and see if I could find the link to the character profile of Dr. Devilish Pony Genius, and then I'll share it in the chat for you guys to have a look. And mhm. So yeah, like that's pretty much it for me to like send it to you. But like I'm gonna see if there's any more questions from you guys before I would end the the stream and all that. But who knows? So pardon me, just had a little burp there. Okay, that's a really good fact to know from Kion. So, well, maybe if I do get the chance to visit Argentina, I could. I mean, I heard lots of facts about it from my family of how much they like it and all. So, hmm, but whatever. Anyways, and plus I'll be also showing you one of my artwork pieces that is related to the adventure team squad that I wanted to show you guys, and I wanted to ask you all what's your opinions on the set of characters for this kind of team for the adventure team squad series and all that. So yeah, let's just give it a second for it to load. This is the artwork of showcasing the members and the leaders of the Wise faction. So yeah, let's just give it a second or two for it to load and okay, here are the members of the Wise Fraction Alliance. Like basically what their goals are or what they do is basically is a team of characters who I think would be perfect as members of the Wise faction and all that. And they basically support the heroes to fight deadly forces of evil, like say for example Count Dracula or maybe Chernobog or Galactus or something like that, and all that stuff. Or even bad, the Great Evil, or you could at least describe Chernobog in my series, the Great Evil, and all that stuff. And probably same thing for Unicron, if Unicron does appear, but I don't know because I was kind of thinking that possibly that Unicron would appear in the series, but I don't know. It just depends what kind of role he would have, but I'm not really 100% certain. That remains unknown for now. So here are all the characters who are members of the Wise Fraction Alliance. And the two leaders we have are Princess Celestia and Rosalina and her companion Luma. Originally, Princess Luna was going to share leadership with them, and that would have made it a freeway leadership and all that stuff. But I was against the idea because I kind of like the idea of these two teaming up instead. So and here are their allies of the Wise Fraction Alliance. We have Lady from Thomas the Tank Engine Friends, Princess Luna from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Palatina from Kid Icarus series, and we have Shining Armor, Princess Cadence, along with Flurry Heart as well. And we have Silver Surfer from Marvel Comics, Ultra Magnus from Transformers Prime, Uncle Chuck and Queen Alina from the Sonic the Hedgehog series, um, Dr. Stephen Strange from Marvel Comics, Dr. Fate and Etrigan the Demon from DC Comics, and finally Prowl from Transformers Animated. Although you know for a fact that Prowl is a member of the Venture Team Squad and all that, and same with some of the other characters, but however, um, there is a fact of a connection of some members of the Adventure Team squad that have connections to one another to be part of the Wise Fraction Alliance and all that. Like they share a connection and all that stuff to form that team and such. And the base of operations is held in Rosalina's starship from Super Mario and all that, which I thought it would be a pretty interesting idea, considering that it could work out pretty well as planned and such. So yeah, I mean it would be pretty cool that way and all that. So And once more, this is going to be the end of the live stream, episode 6. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully the next time if I do another live stream like this, I'll probably invite someone to join in next time, or maybe if they are interested to join next time, that would be great. So then we would get to hear their opinions about either certain things that are going on within from Marvel Comics or DC related or something like that, and all that, mhm, and And yeah, so I wish you all who live in United States a happy Thanksgiving, and God bless you all to have a good one. And yeah, sending you all peace and love as a reference to my favorite member of the Beatles and the man of my childhood, Ringo Starr, who we all know him well for being the very first Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends UK narrator. Sending you all peace and love, and have a great day. And God bless you all, and be your usual self, and have a great day. Thank you very much for tuning in the live stream. Thank you all. Peace and love. Bye.